Here's a little garden tip.
From our garden to yours. Have you ever thought about growing plants from seed? Plant propagation is fun and can save you money. Master Gardener Dina Wild is an avid plant propagator and is here today to share her secrets of growing plants from seed. Welcome, Dina.
Hello, Seth.
I understand that you grew these from seed.
I did.
They're beautiful. Eggplant and tomato, and they're ready to produce.
They are.
But is it hard to grow plants from seed?
It is not. There are 3 very simple steps. Step number 1, you need a container that has good drainage. And it could be any container. In fact, I use this plastic container, recycled, and I just punched a gazillion holes at the bottom, and this is my little community pot of lettuce seedlings. Anyway, so
good enough to eat.
Good enough to eat. So you start with a container. You fill it with a soilless mix, sterilized soilless mix. I prefer the ones that are bagged in the nursery center. You fill it, you pour water in it till the water comes out, so it's nice and moist. Then you take your seed and you plant the seed. The rule of thumb is you plant the seed the depth of the seed. So you just plant.
So these are like a little less than 1/2 of an inch.
Yes,
so
and you just, let me push it in, cover it, put in a label because all the little seedlings look alike. Now, if you are planting seeds like lettuce seeds and they're tiny, 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 just sprinkle them on top of your pot, dust it with a covering of the germinating mix, and that's the end of step 1. Now, step 2 is you need to create a little greenhouse. A very important step because the greenhouse creates the conditions for the seeds to germinate. Now, I don't want the plastic to touch my seedlings, so I put little toothpicks, the corner, and you can use twigs.
And you're just using the bag to collect moisture, right?
That's correct.
And then creating a little greenhouse just like this plastic container.
Exactly, exactly. So then you just twist it, close, and that is the end of step 2. Now, step 3 is you take your pot with a greenhouse, you put it in a dark, warm spot. It can be in the house or it could be outside in the shade. And that's where I germinate all my seeds, outside in the shade. And to create the dark environment, I just put newspaper over my pot.
So once we have this, and you can see this lettuce, did you prepare this to transplant out in the garden?
Yes.
You prepared this to transplant, so
Yes.
this isn't going to stay in this container.
No.
But when you first got this, and this looks like some kind of bakery item, or well, it was a spring lettuce mix already, which it's interesting that you're growing lettuce in a lettuce container.
Yes.
But this also created the greenhouse
That
effect.
created the greenhouse, which was wonderful. Yeah.
So once the soil's moist, you don't need to add additional water.
You do not. Only once you take the pot out of its greenhouse.
And then once it's ready to go, like these, you must have transplanted something like this, a seedling, into another pot.
Correct. And you wait till you see the first true leaves, in which, for most people, that looks like the second set of leaves. And once you see that second set of leaves, you can transplant into a pot.
And these are not going to stay in the pot, are they?
Actually, these are going to go into much larger pots because I grow all of my vegetables in containers.
You do?
I do.
You don't grow any in the ground?
I do not.
So they're going to grow in a bunch. You must have a lot of room, put patio and container for container gardening.
I actually do it on the driveway.
Wow.
That's my only fallow sun. Because I have a shady yard, so I use my driveway.
Now, tell me a little bit more about the soils. You talked about the soilless mix, and is that available in the garden centers?
Every garden center has it, and you can also use vermiculite, but I think the soilless mix is much better, and you'll get better results.
And you don't want people to just go out and get soil from their garden?
No, you don't want to do that because then you likely won't have seeds that germinate. Or if they do germinate, they may have what's called dampening off, where the seeds just kill over. The little seedlings kill over.
Fungus disease.
Yeah, they're fungus. So it's much better to take advantage of all the science that's gone on about germinating and get a soilless mix.
Now, with all this, are you fertilizing these at all at the seedling stage?
Yes, you do. Once they're outside their little greenhouse, you do fertilize with a water-soluble fertilizer, preferably if you can arrange it from the bottom. So the roots will go all the way down and form really strong roots.
Dina, I want to thank you for
Thank
your
you.
help with
Sure.
helping me learn how to propagate from seed.
Sure.
It's easy to grow plants from seed if you haven't tried it. Now's a good time to start.